Hey everybody, welcome back to Whiteboard Finance. In this video, I'm going to show you if you are eligible to get $125 from the Equifax data breach as restitution. So ultimately, if you guys were living under a rock in 2017, 147 million people lost their information because Equifax that held all that information got hacked by a third party. Okay, so this is information like your social security number, credit card numbers, phone numbers, email addresses, physical addresses where you live. All that stuff was basically lost, and it's either being sold by that third party to other third parties, or it's being used by that third party to impersonate you online, make purchases online, basically act as you in a digital way because they have your social security number, your credit card number, all the stuff that they need to make purchases or basically be you online. So let's get right into it. Basically, this is the website here for those of you that don't know. This was released maybe about a week ago. It's called EquifaxBreachSettlement.com. Okay, so here you can ultimately basically file your claim today online. Okay, so there's a bunch of different ways where you can get reimbursed, and let me go through that very quickly. Number one is that they offer free credit monitoring or $125 cash payment. So basically, you can get at least 4 years of 3 credit bureau monitoring offered through Experian, and then you can also get up to 6 more years of free 1 bureau credit monitoring through Equifax. Okay? That's almost kind of like a slap in the face. It's like, hey, we lost your information in the first place. Want to use us again? So I'm just being kind of facetious here, but I'm a very private person, and by a third party or private party company losing my information like this, I can only try and laugh it off without getting really angry. So ultimately, number 2 is other cash payments. So you can also be eligible for the following cash payments of up to $20,000 for the time you spent, out-of-pocket losses, and up to 25% of the cost of Equifax credit or identity monitoring products that you paid for during that time period. So ultimately, they're compensating you up to 20 hours at $50 an hour, and then you have to provide, documentation and screenshots and all that, just so they know that you're not lying about that. So ultimately, number 3 is free identity restoration services, and you're eligible for at least 7 years of free assisted identity restoration services to help you remedy the effects of identity fraud. So ultimately, you can click on this button, find out if your information was impacted, or you can click up here. I'm not sure if my face is covering this, but it's called I Would Like To. It's in the top right-hand corner of the screen, and then you click on See If My Information Was Impacted. So at this point, they have you put in your last name and then the last 4 of your social security number, or excuse me, the last 6 of your social security number. And by clicking submit, you can see, voila, my information was impacted. So based on the information you provided, our records indicate your personal information was impacted by this incident, and then it prompts you to file a claim. So you can do so in a few different ways. You can basically click File a Claim online, which is the easiest way to do it. I've already gone through this process, so I can speak intelligently about this website. So it works, it's legit, and this is the easiest way to do it. Or if you're a little bit more old school, you can submit a hard copy claim by clicking here to download it, and then you basically fill it out and mail it to this address here. And then also, if you do want to see if a son, daughter, whoever, a minor that was a minor on May 13th or younger on 2017, you can click here to download a form there, but you have to send that in through mail. So before I get into filing a claim online, I do want to share this website here. It is an article by the Washington Post that kind of gets into the nitty-gritty and the down and dirty details of all this, and I highly recommend you pay attention and watch the rest of this video because there are some caveats here that you need to pay attention to. So ultimately, I went over the bad news and the good news. However, there is a lot of fine print regarding some deadlines and also how much money is in this pool of restitution in the first place. So basically, let's start here. Okay, so you have several options. You can file for the alternative reimbursement compensation. So this is the one where you can basically get a payout of $125. However, the total pool for this is $380.5 million. Okay, so keep that number in mind. If we know that the pool is only 380, let's just make it 380 for easy numbers, and you know that each claim is $125, well, that only covers about 3 million people. And if you remember, according to this article and to the stats, there were 147 million people affected, meaning that there's still about 144 million people that won't be eligible once that $380 million is used up, okay? So with that being said, my point of telling you that is because you need to file this as soon as possible. I already filed mine this morning before making this video, and also so I can speak intelligently on this video. So let's go back to this website. Keep in mind that pool is 380, so that deadline is January 22nd of 2020. But by the time all these news articles go viral, by hopefully the time this video makes its way through your social media and to all the friends that you're sharing it with, this 380 is going to be dried up. So I suggest you do this as soon as you see this video. Now, there's a couple other options. You can file for a bigger reimbursement. So for the people that either lost money, so I talked about people impersonating you online and all that stuff. So legal or accounting fees, or the money you lost because someone stole your identity, obviously that $125 is not going to be enough. So in this case, you can file a claim for up to $20,000. However, you do need to provide different documents, and I know this because I already went through the process. Basically, you're going to provide screenshots, bank accounts, receipts of any products that you purchased, all the stuff that needs to go into reimbursing you for all the money you spent because of this breach. So ultimately, you're compensated at $25 per hour for up to 20 hours, and then if you claim more than 10 hours, you got to detail that stuff, okay? Now, here's for the people that want to get extra litigious, the American way of just, suing everybody. So ultimately, that deadline is November 19th of 2019. So if you don't want to settle, okay, remember this website here is if you want to settle. That's why it's called the Equifax Data Breach Settlement. If you don't want to settle, you need to opt out if you want to go after them one-on-one with your own legal action, okay? So you need to opt out, but you do that by mailing a written request for exclusion postmarked by November 19th, and it needs to get to that address with this date on it as the latest date. Just because ultimately what happens if you don't do that and you want to pursue them, and if you do nothing, basically you're waiving all your rights, not only to going after them one-on-one with your own lawsuit, but you're also forfeiting your right to sue Equifax for harm caused by that breach. Okay, so you're not eligible for the settlement, and you're not eligible to go after them one-on-one. So if I move forward in this process, basically this is going to give you the quick instructions so you can choose your options of whether you want that free credit monitoring or a cash payment. If you spent time recovering from the breach, you can get compensated that way, or if you lost money, you can get compensated that way, and then you basically confirm on how you want to get paid, okay? So I'm going to click next. I'm not sure how far this is going to let me get, and I'm going to hide all this information because the internet is full of weirdos, which we all know. Maybe you're one of them. And I'm going to actually move forward. I'm not sure if this is going to work because I already filled this out. So, okay, here we go. So section 1, credit monitoring. So this is where you can opt for free service or cash payment. In my opinion, I just went with the $125. Life is too short, and I haven't been affected financially by this. However, they do have my data. I've been getting robocalls like crazy after this. I'm sure you guys have as well. Maybe you got the calls where it's like, you're eligible for free healthcare, or you're eligible for a free cruise. I mean, I guarantee you a lot of those calls are coming because your information was sold from this hack. So step 2 is if you want to be compensated for your time spent. If you claim 10 hours or less, you must describe the actions you took. So I didn't do this, but you can. If you click yes, it's going to ask you, the explanation, when you did it, how many hours, supporting documents, blah, blah, blah. I didn't do any of this, so I'm not going to commit fraud. I clicked next. The cash payment, this is the money you lost or spent. Same thing. You need to provide receipts, the description. If you paid for any credit freezing services or any money lost, you need to upload that stuff down here. Again, this did not apply to me, so I'm not going to do it. You click next, and then you finally select how you want to get paid, okay? So I just did prepaid card because it lasts forever. A check probably takes longer to cut anyway, and it must be cashed within 90 days. Either or, it doesn't matter, just your personal preference, and you click next. I'm not going to click next because I already went through this process. So all in all, I hope this video was valuable for you guys. You know, I may have just saved you $20,000. I may have just made you $125. Do I think that's worth it for some third-party hacker to have my social security number, credit card number, physical address, phone number, my favorite color, my favorite food? Who knows what information they have? It is absolutely not worth it in my opinion, because I would not sell that information for that kind of money, okay? So I appreciate the gesture by Equifax, but at the end of the day, they messed up pretty big here. It was swept under the rug in the media over the last couple of years, but I guarantee you it has affected almost 50% of the population. So please share this video on social media if you want to help your circle of friends. Thank you so much. Have a prosperous day, and as always, thanks for watching.